Welcome, everybody. So, what I'll do is just ask everyone to mute yourself. You can tap the screen, find the mic on the screen, and tap it so that everybody is muted. And we're going to begin in about 30 seconds. I just want to give anybody else a chance to pop on before I close the meeting. So, I hope y'all have had a beautiful day, a productive day, a flowing day. And if not, I hope that you can create what you would like to create tomorrow. So this is part of the book study I have going in my band group. If you have been following me for any amount of time, you understand that I love to create community. And so what I do is I set up different groups based upon topics in an app called The Band. And that's where I run all of my community things. And so if you want to become part of one of those communities, what you would typically do is go to the link tree links in my social media profiles, click on it, and then choose the group or the course or whatever that suits you. So we're going to wait about 30 more seconds and then I'll begin. Topic tonight is be impeccable with your word. All right, so here we are discussing the first agreement, be impeccable with your word. And I love talking about this because I don't think we ever can hear too much about the way that our words influence our environments and also influence our inner world. A lot of people take this to mean something very literal, which is watch what you say. You hear people saying, I want to choose the right words, and they become very concerned about choosing right words. You'll hear them apologizing a lot. I said the wrong thing. Some people even go so far as to shut down when they don't have the right words because they're very determined to watch their words. But it's important that we understand that this first agreement says be impeccable with your words, but be impeccable with your words is not synonymous to saying the right thing. It's more closely related to understanding how your words are formed so that when you self-express, you express yourself in a meaningful way that is more accurate in terms of how you're feeling and your intended outcome. That's a lot different than being caught up on saying the right way or phrasing the words a certain way. It's more about understanding what you believe, how those beliefs affect you, how those beliefs affect others when you speak from the belief. There's a scripture that says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What is the abundance of the heart? It is our system of beliefs. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to let someone else in. All right. So again, we're not trying to obsess over saying the right things and putting the words together right. But what we are wanting to do is have a deeper self understanding and express from our depths rather than our autopilot. So let's talk a little bit about it. I'm going to read a summary. The first agreement, Ruiz believes to be necessary and it's both simple and powerful. Be impeccable with your word. Ruiz thinks this is the most challenging of the four agreements to uphold, but if you can uphold it, it's enough to turn your reality into heaven on earth. Ruiz believes that you express your creative power through your word. Now listen to this. Everything you believe about what you are, What you dream and what you feel is conjured by your word. So, see right here, we are not talking just about words. You could say a lot of things and not believe or mean them, and they don't create much. You can say a lot of words, and if they don't connect with a person, then they're going to have no effect. So, this is not really about the words, but the words are the expressions of your belief system. So, I'm going to read that again. Everything you believe about what you are, what you dream, and what you feel is conjured. Everything you believe is conjured by your word. Your word is a magical force that creates your reality. When we talk about reality, we're not talking about it creates everything around you. It creates your experience of the things around you. It creates and co-creates in your relationships. Okay? It can create a beautiful dream when you're impeccable with it, or an ugly dream when you misuse it. Okay? So here we are understanding that it's not just the words, okay? It's your belief systems. Sentences are a collection of words. Paragraphs are a collection of sentences, which is a collection of words, right? And we build upon that. And so we have these collections of paragraphs and judgments and thoughts surrounding different topics. And this collection of thoughts is called a belief system. You believe something. It's a collection of thoughts. Okay. And this is where your thoughts come from. Your thoughts come from your belief systems. Your words come from your thoughts. Your feelings come from your thoughts and your belief systems. Your expectations come from your belief systems. Your assumptions come from your belief systems. How you see the world comes from your belief systems. Therefore, the way you express yourself comes from your belief systems. So are you going to spend your time trying to control words? Or are you going to spend time trying to understand what you believe so that your words will reflect your belief systems? For example, if you believe that behavior is synonymous with character, then when a person produces bad behavior, you're going to think they're a bad person. If you believe that what you do is synonymous with who you are, then you're going to beat yourself up and say things like, oh, I messed up. Oh, I never get things right. Oh, I always fuck things up, because you believe that your character is consistent with your behavior. And so you speak. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So a lot of times people be like, well, I didn't mean that. Yeah, you did mean it. Now, you didn't want that outcome, right? You didn't fully understand what you were trying to express, and the fullness of your expression wasn't there, but you did mean it, because you cannot just pull words out of the thin blue sky or the thin air or whatever the saying is, because words come from thoughts, and thoughts come from belief systems. So you're not speaking out of character when you say the thing that you think is wrong. You're very much speaking from your heart. Now, that's not what you intended, but it's definitely coming from your heart, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you want to change your words, you got to change what you believe. If you believe that you can waste your time, then in situations where you have determined that your time was wasted, you're going to speak. I wasted my time. I could have been doing something else. The more you speak that, the more frustrated you get. If you're around another person who is privy to frustration and anxiety, now you are also creating it outside of you. Maybe you believe, going back to behavior and character, if you believe that behavior and character are synonymous, and you believe in judgment, right? Judging people based upon what they do and their character. So if you feel that a person does something stupid, then you're going to say that's stupid. Now, if they have a fear that they're stupid, or they believe that they're stupid, then your word is going to create some turmoil based upon how they think. Now you've created a situation that you didn't really mean to create simply because you didn't understand that your belief system is detrimental to the people around you. So again, are we going to be impeccable with our word and fuss about right words and try to get the right words and, shut down till we have the right words? Or are we going to get at the heart of the matter, which is what you believe? If you believe, if you believe that failure is a thing, then you're going to say thoughts that are consistent with failure. Oh, I failed. I failed again. You're going to feel based upon failure. I feel bad. Nobody's rejoicing because they feel they failed. And so you could say, oh, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that I failed. But you believe it and you feel it, and your feelings don't lie. So even if you don't say it, you still feel it, and it's still in your reality. So even though people talk about the power of the tongue, the power of the words, it's really the power behind the words, which is your belief system. In the Bible, it's talked about the power in the name of Jesus. There's power in the name. It's not just the name, but it's your powerful beliefs behind the name that creates, that conjures. Okay. Like I always say this, I could say the sky is red, the sky is red. I could say that and repeat it to myself every day, but I don't believe the sky is red. I know that the sky is what we call blue. My subconscious is not fooled by the way that I speak, because your subconscious is programmed by powerful beliefs. This is why I don't place a lot of emphasis on positive thinking and positive words, because if you're afraid, even if you say you're not afraid, you still feel afraid. So now you're creating some dissonance and division within yourself. Part of you is saying you're not afraid, part of you is saying you are. I don't think that is healthy. But if you say, I feel afraid, however, I call on thoughts that empower me, now the energy of empowerment can come upon you. But if you just go, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, well, then you're going to stir up and stay in your fear. But it's not because you're saying it, it's because you believe something about it. I hope this makes sense. And so being impeccable with your word, as I wrap up, is about understanding yourself, understanding what belief systems serve you and which ones don't, and moving in alignment with that. Okay. And moving in alignment, changing the belief system or keeping the belief system. But it's not about controlling your words. Okay. So let me read this and then we're going to get out of here. The word impeccable means not going against yourself. For example, if someone calls you stupid, the person is not just harming you, they're also harming themselves, because the person is sending out a toxic judgment or emotional poison out, which encourages you to judge them. So they're getting the energy back that they've dished out. You say something that is contrary to universal truth to someone else and they reject it, you're going to take it as if they're rejecting you, because you believe that what you're saying is you. So if people reject what you say, then you're going to take it that they're rejecting you. You have sent out that energy. If a person loves themselves, it says, they will express that love toward others and they will receive love in return. A lot of times people are receiving messages about themselves, probably from parents and caretakers and such, and they come into agreement with it. And that becomes a fear. They begin to fear that they are what the parent or caretaker said that they were. The fear is a type of agreement. In other words, it says you agree to uphold the same belief that other people have agreed to uphold about you. Ruiz believes that talking to people in a certain way is a central part of why people have the damaging beliefs that they do. And there's the belief system again. Do you use your words to judge others rather than describe? Recently someone used the word stubborn, right? Stubborn is a judgment, but describing that I'm being very hard to sway, that's descriptive, right? And I would agree with that. I'm hard to sway. But I would reject stubborn because that is attributing a character flaw with words rather than describing it, right? People may say you are impatient or whatever words they use, or maybe you use the words that person is selfish, that person is inconsiderate. That's some common ones. Is that person really being inconsiderate? Probably not. They are considering themselves first, though, and that's necessary, and you don't like it. So you attribute that as a character flaw because you believe something about that. I hope this makes sense. Okay. So in this, we are reading the Four Agreements by Ruiz is his last name, Don Miguel, I think, Ruiz. And there's four agreements in this book, and this first one is be impeccable with your word. All right, so that is it for the night. I hope that something was said tonight to spark some movement within the create differently with your belief systems and your words. And this is not an opportunity to beat up upon yourself. Remember, with this, it's not about getting things right. This is about evolving into a higher version of yourself. And we do that by looking at our beliefs. So that is it. Y'all have a beautiful night. Thank you so much for hanging out with this community talk. And we'll talk soon. I'll inform you when I do the second teaching on the second agreement. Good night, y'all.